Hello. What's the sound I keep hearing? Yes, it must be the sound of rain. In that case, what are those two bright lights coming towards me? I don't know. However, they came at me with a screeching sound and stopped right in front of me. Screech. A blaring noise came at me over and over. Whatever is shining those bright lights is threatening me. It's probably telling me to get out of the way. However, I was incapable of moving even a finger. There was sound and a car door opened. Car door. Apparently, I was lying on asphalt under the pouring rain. No. I only had to read that much more just to get to the end of that part. I didn't know. I saw a shadow, which is apparently the driver, open an umbrella and come towards me.
ここはそなたの庭。
Oh, oops. The shadow questioned me. Of course, I couldn't answer it.
そなたの庭ならば、私は謝らなければならないな。なるほど。このような良き天気の日には、昼寝としゃれ込みたくなるような素晴らしき庭だ。しかし、私の記憶が確かなら。
The shadow crouched down and looked into my face. It was a woman.
ここは天下の公道だ。そなたはひき肉になりたいのか、あるいはすでにひき肉なのか、どちらなのか教えてほしい。
I clenched my chest. I felt I needed to answer those somehow and communicate my intentions. So, finally, I managed to let a short groan escape my lips.
なるほど。まだひき肉ではなかったようだな。
And that was how I met Ikuko. Oh.
非常に衰弱しております。あと、記憶障害の可能性が高いですね。CT を見ないことには分かりませんが、脳にダメージがある可能性もあります。
ダメージ程度で済んで大いに結構でした。あそこであのまま寝ていればそれどころでは済まなかったでしょうから。
ですな。いずれにせよ大きな病院で一度見せた方がいいでしょう。
ありがとう先生。この件は内密に。これはわずかですが往診のお車代に。
わざわざ他言はしませんが。いやいや、こんなにたくさんいただくわけには。
In the end, the doctor took the money and swore to keep quiet about the matter. Eventually, Hashijo returned.
おや、起きていたのですか。具合はいかがです？
I nodded weakly, letting her know that it wasn't so bad for now. But where is this place? A room I have absolutely no memory of, in a house I don't remember at all. And first and foremost, here's a woman I've never seen.
まずは私の自己紹介から。私は八条育子。親しげに育子と呼んでくれても、他人行儀に八条さんと呼んでくれても構いません。
Ikuko. Hashijo Ikuko.
八条家はこの辺りではちょっと知られた大地主の名家。出来のいい兄たちと違い、私はどこかずれた変わり者。いろいろと悪さが過ぎまして、とうとう親たちからも愛想をつかされて追い出され、今はここで蟄居をさせられています。趣味は推理小説を読むことと、そして書くこと。年は秘密の独身女。心は女子でもそろそろそれを語るにはおこがましいかなという年頃です。
With the haze my mind was in, it was extremely hard to make out what she was talking about. However, I was able to pick up on the fact that she was trying to cheer me up.
それで、そなたの名前は？
My name. Logically, I know that, being a human, I must have a name. And I do have the feeling that I did indeed have a name. However, no matter how hard I tried to remember what it was, it just made my head hurt.
何か名前以外に覚えていることは？
Who am I? My head. No, even my heart was a mess of torn flesh, and I couldn't remember a thing, not even who or what I was. But I must remember. I had some kind of purpose, or maybe a mission. In order to remember that, I'd first have to remember who I am. Who am I? What is my name? Where was I born? And what was my birthday? I need to remember something. Anything.
Toshi? 私の年は秘密です。
18.
私が18歳に見える？
I'm 18.
ああ、そなたの年齢ですか。やれやれ。世辞が過ぎると思いました。
When I asked myself how old I was, the number 18 floated into my mind. To be honest, the number 18 felt a bit out of place. My mind felt much younger than that, and my pathetic body felt much older.
なるほど。そなたは18歳というわけだ。そしてそれ以上のことは何も覚えていないと。
I nodded weakly. I never knew that knowing nothing about yourself could make you feel this powerless.
では、そなたが自分の名を思い出すまで、18という年にちなみ、18と書いて、東野と読む名前を与えましょう。八条東野。いかがです？なかなかかっこいいです。自画自賛。
Hashido Ikuko gave a satisfied laugh. From then on, I took the name Hashido Toya. My inability to move my body was apparently due to a traffic accident. On that day, I had been hit by a car, and Ikuko had picked me up from where I lay on the street. If she hadn't hit the brakes, she probably would have driven straight onwards, thinking she'd run over a dead dog or something. Later on, perhaps rudely, I suspected that the one who hit me might have been Ikuko herself. But when I saw her completely undamaged front bumper, I gave up on that theory. Hashido Ikuko lived in a small but lovely mansion on the top of a small hill in a village with a view of the sea. She also owned the hill behind her and was more than capable of enjoying the four seasons in privacy. As time passed slowly, my rehabilitation continued, and my ability to move improved little by little. However, it seemed I really did suffer some form of brain damage. Finding out who I was looked like it would be a very difficult task. In the beginning, when I couldn't bear not knowing my identity, my head often hurt so much it felt as though it would explode. However, as I slowly accepted the fact that I was a new person with the new name of Hashido Toya, the headaches became less frequent. That whole time, no memories returned to me except the fact that I had been 18. However, I was unable to remember any more, unable even to be sure that 18 was my true age, and eventually, I stopped trying to remember my former self.
おはよう、東野。昨日はひどい嵐でしたが、よく眠れましたか？
I had some trouble falling asleep, so I decided to read your manuscript.
おやおや、どこまで読んでくれたのですか？
I finished it.
これは驚いた。あの量の原稿用紙を一晩で読み切ったというのですか？
I was surprised too. Once I got into it, I'd finished before I knew it. It was like I was just skimming it, or maybe like I was taking in each page with just a glance.
どうやらそなたは速読の心得があるようですね。して、どうでしたか？感想は。
I liked it a lot. Still, if you don't explain that part about the ocean currents a bit more clearly, it might be a little unfair for a detective novel. Oh, but I thought it was great that you had the foreshadowing with the ring right there at the beginning. After I finished, I had to go back to the beginning and slap myself for being so easily tricked. I think giving people that feeling is what detective novels do best. Did I say something to offend you? If I did, you have my apologies.
いや、なぜ謝るのです。驚いています。
Silly.
そなたの的確な感想
What
は
is this?
称賛に値するでしょう。そなたはどうやら批評家か、あるいは推理小説作家の才能があるらしい。
A detective novel writer. A critic. From across the fog of oblivion. I seem to remember myself fighting and arguing about mysteries, or something like that. That way of fighting, which I must have learned in the past, sent a surge of excitement through me. Mystery. Fighting. My head hurt. I took a painkiller and swallowed it with fresh water brought up from the well. Who am I, really? But no matter how much I thought, I couldn't remember. From what I'd been told, the frequency of the headaches might be lessened by brain surgery, but there was no guarantee that it would do my memory any good. Ikiko said that she would let me have surgery if I wanted it. However, I refused. Even if I can't remember it, the real me is still there, sleeping inside my head. I was scared that the surgery might harm that me somehow. By now, I've gotten used to dealing with headaches. As long as I don't force myself to remember the past, the headaches don't torment me every day. So, bit by bit, I became free of the headaches and got used to my new life as Hashirogilya. Wait, she's not Hashirogilya. Gradually my interest shifted for myself to Ikiko. Hashijo Ikiko. A very strange woman. First off, she was apparently the daughter of a very well-off family, just as she had said. However, she was considerably eccentric, and the various mischievous incidents she spoke of had apparently gotten her within an inch of being disowned. As a result, she had been given this house, and had been ordered to live here quietly and alone. She had never been a particularly social person, so she happily accepted this new state of affairs, living however she pleased with servants to take care of her. She had no friends. No one ever came to visit. When I wasn't around, she only ever talked to an old black cat she kept as a pet named Burn. I don't know her real age. She doesn't seem to be too old to marry yet, but with an isolated life like this, she isn't likely to meet people. She sometimes says that she just hasn't met anyone worth the trouble, but I think she's already given up on marriage. Her everyday life was very simple. She would either read through the many detective novels that were brought to her, or else write detective novels herself. At first, I thought she was some novelist at a private retreat, plugging away at a new book. However, the manuscripts she finished just ended up clipped together in a pile. With me as the sole exception, it didn't look like she ever let anyone read them. A novelist is someone who writes novels for people to read. So, I figured you could hardly call her a novelist when she kept writing novels no one would ever see. Ikiko-san, why don't you ever show these to anyone?
そなたには見せています。無論、出来のマシなものに限りますが。
Haven't you ever thought of sending one to some publishing company? It's a waste otherwise when your works are so interesting.
私の作品などプロには通じぬ。一度送ったことがあるが、さっぱりダメでした。私には分かっています。こんなもの、素人の道楽です。
I don't think amateur is a fitting word for someone who's so well versed in detective novels from all times and all across the world.
大飯ぐらいが良き料理人になれるわけでもない。推理小説を読み散らすことが良き推理小説家であることを保証するわけでもない。そういうことです。だからこんなものは道楽に過ぎません。
Is it really fun to write novels that you won't show to anyone?
かつては楽しかった。かつては。
What about now?
そなたに感想を得ることが楽しい。とりあえず一章を書き終えました。お茶を用意させるので、また読んで感想を聞かせてもらえませんか？
Saying this with a smile, Ikiko thrust a pile of manuscript paper at me. Oh. I'm convinced that whether you read detective novels or write them, they're boring if you're all on your own. You can only find something really precious when you share that world with someone else. Headache.
どうやしっかり今頭痛薬を
I'm fine. I'm more interested in this manuscript. I can't wait for the new chapter. The seasons passed, together with Ikuko in this town whose name I didn't even know. We spent our days debating detective novels and talking about ideas for new plots. At a glance, they may have appeared to be stale and unproductive days. However, Hashijo Toya found satisfaction with this new life.
かようにして我が黒首と奇譚は幕を閉じるのである。亮
With a dramatic flourish of her pen, Ikuko signified that her manuscript was now complete.
どうであるかそなたのプロットを生かしつつ最後に辻子の秘伝をもう少し厚くしてみました。
I think it's very good. I say the last farewell is sad enough to make it moving as a story, not just a reasoning puzzle.
東野のプロットがあればこそです。この作品の前には私がこれまで書き溜めた原稿などちり紙の価値さえない。書きながらも私が世界で一番最初の読者であることの興奮、こんな経験は初めてです。
I just mentioned some ideas. You're the one who turned them into such a fascinating story, Ikuko-san. At some point, she roped me in as well, and I too started my journey in the world of writing detective novels. Apparently, the old me had some talent for mysteries and detective novels and the like. And my talent seemed to be of a fairly unorthodox kind. I tried turning famous mysteries from across the world on their head, twisting those ideas into something new. However, a few ideas aren't enough to make a book. No meal is complete if all you can do is chop up vegetables. It's deep. Thanks to Ikuko's writing, a skill she had built up over many years, my ideas were transformed into a work of fiction. In this work, the strange tale of Kubi Island, the two of us married the best of our respective personalities. And, though I hate to brag, it had turned into a masterpiece that we could show to anyone without shame.
もしもし、書斎にシャンパンを持ってきてください。グラスはあなたの分も。これまでで一番の作品が仕上がりました。
Ikuko called for some champagne over the internal phone line. Joined by the servant who happened to be working that day and the cat bird, we raised our glasses high and toasted our accomplishment. Ikuko-san, I have an idea, if you don't mind.
お祝いしましょう。聞こう。そなたの話すアイデアならシャワーとトイレ中でなければいつだって耳を貸そう。
Why don't we try submitting our book? I've never read anything this interesting before. I'm sure lots of other people will want to read it.
そうでしょうか。過去にもそう思い投稿しましたが、結果は。
I believe in your talent, Ikuko-san. What about you?
私とてそなたの才能を確信しています。
Then it's decided. To Ikuko-san's big debut.
東野のメジャーデビューを祈って。
Debut. We clinked our glasses once more. And on went. And on it went. We must have had way too much to drink. Before I knew it, I must have passed out on the sofa. There was a blanket covering me. Ikuko-san must have put it there. The lights were out in the study, but it wasn't dark. The computer's monitor was glowing. Outside, it had started to rain. It reminded me of the day Ikuko-san found me and took me in. Because of that, whenever it rains, I find myself wondering who I was, and I usually get headaches. So, I wasn't sure whether the pain was because of the rain or because I drank too much. Yukiko-san, turn on the lights. Using a computer in the dark is bad for your eyes.
おや、起こしてしまいましたか。
No, I slept well. I feel refreshed now. I turned on the light and looked out through a gap in the curtains. As I thought, it was the sort of pouring rain that always reminded me of that day. It's raining pretty hard out there. The wind looks pretty strong too. I hope the rain gutters don't get clogged with leaves again.
先日掃除をさせましたから、当分は大丈夫でしょう。
Her answer sounded a little abstracted. Apparently, her attention was absorbed by the computer. You've been pretty hooked by that computer lately, Yukiko-san. Did you find an interesting article or something?
バカバカしいとは思いつつも、なかなか面白いのです。ほら、例の六軒島事件。
Rockin'
六軒島ミステリーの話は先日したでしょ。これが今ネットでブームになっているのです。それをめぐる議論や考察、中でも義書が実に面白い。義書というのは付近の島に流れ着いた後宮マリアの署名のあるボトルメッセージが他にもあったと仮定して書いたもので。
Yukiko kept showing off her knowledge of the subject. However, a huge bell was clanging inside my head. The noise was so great that I thought my head would split open. Unable to tell what was the floor and what was the ceiling, I crumpled and clutched at my head.
どうや、大丈夫ですか?
My head hurts. The Rokkenjima explosion accident. The many disquieting rumors surrounding it. The scheming of the relatives who were after Ushirimiya Kinzo's vast wealth in the hidden gold. And the truth? Ushirimiya Iva, the sole survivor, said nothing. Eventually, everything would be inherited by the granddaughter, Ushirimiya Ange, who escaped harm because she was absent on that day. Ange, Ushirimiya Ange. I am Ushirimiya. No good. My head's getting split open. Incomprehensible scenes pierced my eyelids from the inside like blades of light. Just what am I looking at? Who are these people calling to me, but not by the name Toya? Who am I? Who are these people? What is this memory? Help me, Yukiko. Someone else's memory is hurting me. My head's splitting. What? I could hear the sorrowful sound of wind, and that must be rain. Who was I again? I am
Ange!
Shirimiya.
Ange!
お願いよ、返事をして。
Voices calling to me. Dad and Mom. It can't be. In 1986, on Rokkenjima, Mom and Dad.
エンジェ、しっかりしろ。お父さんの声が聞こえるか。
お願いだから返事をして。エンジ
Dad, Mom. I'll say it out loud. Dad, Mom.
エンジェ。エンジェ、よかった。
I could feel my body being lifted up firmly and hugged roughly. Mom and Dad were hugging me. My eyelids have been open for a while now. I could feel the light slowly returning to my eyes. Just like your eyes get used to the dark, my eyes got used to the light, and bit by bit, the scene around me came into view. However, it was an unusual sight, which seemed to be very far away. My body was being hugged by Dad and Mom. Dad was sniffling, his face covered with tears. There were tears in Mom's eyes too as she held me tight. It was so strong that it hurt a bit. They held me with all their strength. Me, the bad kid who wasn't obedient, who always had an excuse, and who always tried to do the opposite of what her parents said. They held me tight to make sure I didn't head down the wrong path. As my eyes adjusted, I could see other people besides my parents. Everyone was there. George Oni-chan, Jessica Oni-chan, and Maria Oni-chan. My uncles and aunts. Even Sakutara. And there was the witch Virgilia and Renove. And
そなたは幸運だった。偶然にも虚無の海の波間を漂うそなたを見つけたのだ。ひどい姿であったぞ。そなた自身がその姿を思い出すまでに随分と時間をかけた。
ベアトリーチェ、じゃあここは
黄金鏡だ。ここでお父さんたちはみんなお前が帰ってくるのを待ってたんだぞ。
絶対にあなたは帰ってくると信じてたわ。
did I come home because I was supposed to? I've gone back to how I'm supposed to be. And now.
いやだ、お前は帰ってきたんだ。
そうよ。あなたが私たちのところへ帰りたいと願ったからここへ帰ってこられたのよ。
お父さん、お母さん、私は
今は何も言わなくていいわ。大変な冒険をしてきたわね。あなたは一人ぼっちで大変な冒険をしてきたわ。
これで分かっただろう。もう忘れないだろう。
I understand.
ここが
Dad.
お前の帰るべきところだってことだ。
When I gave that answer, Dad and Mom hugged me again. Hot tears fell onto my face. They were Dad's and Mom's tears.
無事でとはとても言えない姿だったけれど、よかったわ。帰ってきて。
エヴァ、おばさん。
私のことをいくらでも憎んでくれていいから。だからお父さんとお母さんに100万回キスをしてあげて、あなたのことをいつも思っているみんなにもキスをしてあげて。
エヴァ、おばさん。
あなたのもう一人のお母さんにどうかただいまと言ってあげて。
Mom gave me a push from behind, and I stumbled forwards, towards my other mother.
エヴァ、お母さん。
エンジェちゃん。
あの日、私がそう呼べていれば、私は何も謝ることがなかったかもしれない。私たちは新しい世界を二人で生み出せたかもしれない。
もういいのよ。エンジェちゃんは帰ってきてくれたわ。だからもう何も言わなくていいのよ。
お母さん、お母さん。
おかえり、エンジェちゃん。あなたは私の可愛い娘よ。
エヴァ、お母さん。あなたはいつまでも、そして最後まで私の一番の味方だった。
The two of them hugged each other quietly, burying their faces into the other's shoulders and sobbing. The truth wasn't worth anything at all. In the first place, the truth is always in the past. The point of the future isn't to learn what happened in the past. What really matters is whether I can truly live and prosper in the truth that is the now. If I truly live and prosper, that's the truth. Back when I only ever tried to see the truth of the past, I was nothing more than a ghost trapped in that past. Since that time, I haven't lived a single day. Now, I truly understand. This is what the real truth is.
私は生きるわ。そして
どれほどみんなに愛されていたかを思い出したわ。
Because I was young and selfish, I didn't remember until now. The kind grandpa who always spoiled me. The entertaining aunts and uncles. All of the kind and gentle servants. It was always warm. And yet, because I was young and cruel, I never tried to remember any of that. Everyone got distorted by my irresponsible imagination, and I completely forgot the truth. Now I can remember clearly, and I understand. That Halloween quiz party certainly was an illusion. It never happened. However, didn't we do all kinds of fun things when the relatives gathered? Things that were no more or less fun than that party. And, for the first time since the start of the game, I went up to each and every one of them to greet them, thank them, and apologize. To thank Grandpa for always pampering me. To thank my aunts and uncles. To thank the cousins for always playing with me even though I was so selfish. And I thanked and apologized to the illusions. I think I said something horrible to Sakutara once in the past, and to Maria One-chan too.
マリアお姉ちゃんは本当の魔女だったんだわ。
マリアは最初から魔女だよ。エンジェだって一度はその領域に近づけたのにね。
本当の意味で分かってなんかいなかった。かわいそうなマリアお姉ちゃんのかわいそうな魔法、そんな風にしか見ていなかった。だから私には幸せのかけらが拾えない、見つけられない。かつてお姉ちゃんは私にそう言ったわ。
仕方ないよ。宇宙は二人で作らないと生み出せない。マリアにはベアトがいたけれど、エンジェは一人ぼっちだった。
いいえ、もしエヴァおばさんをお母さんと呼べていたら、私は二人だったわ。きっとマリアお姉ちゃんと同じ魔法で私は新しい世界を生み出せたわ。
すべてわらわのせいだ。わらわが面白半分に投じたボトルメッセージがそなたの未来に歪みを生み、そなたを蝕んだ。わらわにもその責任がある。
まったくね。あんたのボトルメッセージのせいだわ。そのせいであんたの真似をした偽書を書く連中が現れて、どんどんおかしな話が膨らんでいった。
Message bottles. However, the message bottles thrown away by Bito did not name a specific person as the culprit. One of the forgers wrote a plausible forgery that had Shirimiya Iba as the culprit, and it spread like a wildfire. Even though I should have known better than anyone else that it was impossible, I accepted it in the end.
ベアトのせいじゃないわ。周りの誰がどんな邪推を重ねようとも、私の中の真実はたった一つのはずだった。なのに安易に私はみんなの温かな思い出を手放し、心を彼らに明け渡してしまった。
いやいや、そもそもわらわがボトルメッセージなど投じなければ、未来の六軒島はおかしな妄想の種にされることもなかったのだ。すべてはわらわのせいだ。
そうね、それもそうだわ。やっぱりあんたのせいだわ。
素直にそう言われるとカチンとくるぞ。わらわのせいだけでなく、やはりそなたも悪いのだ。
そうね、あんたも悪いし私も悪いわ。でもお互い罵り合うのもバカらしい。だって私は未来の魔女、あなたは過去の魔女。未来に生きる私はその魔法で未来を築くべきなのよ。私たちは共に何らかの責任を負うけれど、それを責める資格はどちらにもないわ。
エンジェならマリアージュ・ソルシエールの教えをきっと理解してくれると思ってたよ。
そうね。 私はマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の一人としてお姉ちゃんの魔法を伝える義務があるわ。
マリアの魔法はみんなを幸せにする魔法なの。
うん。清らかなる魔法も邪悪なる魔法も思いのままよ。
本当ね。魔法は心の持ち方で全く違う姿に変わる。正しい導きがなければ正しい魔法は使えないわ。そして正しい魔法は人を幸福に導くわ。
素晴らしいことです。人を幸せにすることこそが魔女が魔法を振るう唯一の理由なのです。その教えをようやく我らが無限の魔女の系譜の最後の魔女に伝えることができて、私は嬉しいですよ。
悪かったな、全然伝えてなくてよ。
未来の魔女エンジェ・ベアトリーチェ・マリアージュ・ソルシエールは今こそあなたの著名を解く。
ウリュウ、エンジェはきっと帰ってきてくれるって信じてたよ。
おめでとうございます、エンジェ様。
あなたたちと共に旅をした日に私は一度は理解をしたつもりでいたのに、ごめんね。本当にごめんね。
魔女は二人でなければ宇宙を生み出せぬ。未来のそなたは一人だが本当に大丈夫か？
ええ、大丈夫。私はもう一人じゃないもの。私は生きるわ、みんなと一緒に。そして未来に生きるマリアージュ・ソルシエールの魔法を伝えるために生き抜くことを誓うわ。マリアお姉ちゃんの魔法は私でさえ救ってくれたもの。魔法を必要としている人たちはもっと大勢いる。それを正しく伝え、一人でも多くの人々を救うことがマリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女の私の使命なんだわ。
それは実現できそうか？
もちろんよ。そのための力だってあるわ。私の先代様エヴァ・ベアトリーチェがたっぷりと築き上げてくれた黄金の魔法があるもの。私はそれを全て継承しているわね。 私がもう少し健康で長生きできてたら全部使い切っちゃうつもりだったんだけどね。
As Angie laughed, tears poured from her eyes again. Everyone surrounded Angie with their kind, warm smiles. Bador stood alone in the rose garden maze, letting the rain quietly fall on him. After searching for some time, Angie found him.
お兄ちゃん。
Angie, who was feeling guilty, sensed anger in her brother's expression. So, she thought he was going to hit her. No, she shut her eyes. That would be mean. However, her brother touched her softly. He patted her head gently.
Nah.
Oh.
真実なんて大したもんじゃなかっただろ。
うん。お兄ちゃんはこんなにも暖かな世界でずっと私の帰りを待っててくれたのに、私だけがずっと背を向けていたから。
お前は真実を知ってしまった。
うん。
だから誰かが生きて帰ってくるかもしれないっていう奇跡や希望はもうついえちまった。でもお前にはもう未来を生きるための新しい希望や使命があるな。
お兄ちゃんがその温かな希望を守ってくれてた。それを 私が自ら開いて逃がしてしまった。パンドラの箱より始末が悪いわ。私は知る必要のない真実も、そして希望までも全て逃がしてしまって、全てを空っぽにしてしまったのだから。
いいさ、開けちまったなら仕方ねえさ。それで空っぽなら後腐れがなくていいじゃねえか。下手な希望はかえってトゲになることもあるしな。
Batterer laughed heartily. Then, with that same smile on his face, he told her,
俺たちはもう死んでる。ひょっとしたら生きてるかもしれないって希望がお前の12年間を生きる糧にしてくれた。それはもうこれでおしまいだ。きれいさっぱり全部なしだ。
分かってる。これからの私は新しい人生に踏み出すわ。
ベアとは六軒島を猫箱に閉ざし、次の魔女のエヴァおばさんはその猫箱の蓋を生涯守った。その次の魔女のお前はその蓋を開けちまったがだからって何だってんだ。過去の真実なんてどうでもいいことじゃねえか。
ええ、私はこれから真に生きる。そして自分だけの真実を結実するわ。
頑張れよ。マリアージュ・ソルシエールの最後の魔女。マリアの魔導書を読んだぜ。あれはとてもいいことを書いた素晴らしい本だ。聖書だって翻訳がいるならマリアの魔導書にだって翻訳がいるだろう。お前がそれを翻訳するんだ。そしてかつてのお前と同じ境遇の子供たちに伝えてやれ。それがお前の新しき未来の魔女の使命だ。俺はいない。でもお前の後ろにいつだっていて見守ってるからな。
知ってるわ。お兄ちゃんだけじゃないわ。みんなも一緒よ。
俺もみんなもずっとずっと永遠にお前を愛してる。それを忘れるな。
忘れないわ。絶対永遠に。
Ange leapt into Bador's chest and sobbed. Humans are sad creatures who can learn but not unlearn. She had already learned. It may have been a cruel, terrifying, merciless thing, capable of destroying even the miracle called hope. However, there was still one tiny fragment left gripped in her hand. Her family's love. If she can just remember that and hold it tight, then surely Angie will live on. She'll be able to stop before taking that single step into nothingness.
それに六軒島の猫箱はまだ完全に開かれたわけじゃない。お前が中身を覗いちまっただけの話だ。だからお前が自ら蓋となれ。そして今度はお前が猫箱の中のみんなを守るんだ。俺や親父やキリエさん、いとこのみんなやおじさんたちおばさんたち、じいさまや使用人のみんな、幻想の住人のみんなをな。
うん。今度は私がみんなを守らなきゃ。
ならそれは急いだ方がいいんじゃない？
The sound of popcorn being eaten rang out from beyond a rose bush. It was Linda Delta.
あんたも知ってると思うけど、ベルンはもうじき一なる真実の書をパーティーで大公開するわ。会場には天国から地獄から異界から別世界からあらゆる世界の面々が集まってる。そこで中身を公表されたらもう何もかも手遅れよ。
私行くわ。ベルンカステルにあの鍵を渡してしまった。私の責任だわ。私が行って取り返してくる。
図書の都にか。しかし入る方法がない。あそこには結界があるんだ。
あいつがこれをくれたの。これがあれば自由に出入りできるってバカなやつね。私を捨てるとき回収を忘れたんだわ。
Angie fished through her pocket, and there was a jingling sound. It was a bell with a blue ribbon tied to it.
それよ、招待状と引き換えに渡される図書の都の臨時入館証。それがあればとりあえず一人は図書の都に乗り込めるわね。まあかけらの海を誰かが送ってくれればの話だけど。
ラムダデルタ、私を図書の都に連れてって。
エンジェ。
それが私の責任の取り方だわ。私が一なる真実の書の公開を食い止める。
本気で言ってんの？あそこは化け物中の化け物の服までよ。ベルンの庇護を失ったあんたなんてハエ以下のハムシ扱い。ベチッと叩いて潰されておしまいよ。
The bell was snatched from Angie's hands.
ラムダデルタ、そこには俺が行こう。お前は俺を送ってくれるだけでいい。どうせ俺は猫箱の中にしか存在できない虚無の存在だ。だがエンジェは未来に生きなくちゃならない。そしてお前だって未来ある存在だ。だから俺が行く。俺には何も失うものなんてないんだからな。
いいえ、これは私の責任。そして私のけじめ。私が自らの手でやらなきゃ未来は何も変わらない。そして未来の猫箱を何も救えない。
Angie tried to snatch the key from Bador's hand, but Bador had no intention of giving it up. The two of them were grimly serious, but from the sidelines, it looked like an ordinary squabble between two close siblings. Lambda Delta watched this conversation and shrugged. If she just took one of them to the City of Books, she wouldn't have to make any enemies, and there was no risk to her. All she cared about was which one would make the story more interesting. Nothing else. But then, she finally noticed.
ストップ！あんたたち、ちょっとストップ！ストップ！
何よ、後にしてよ。
今兄弟で大切な話をしてるんだ。
まずあんたたち、その組み合ってる手を解きなさい。鈴はバトラが持ってるのね。バトラ、跳ねてみて。
跳ねる？こうか。
Jingle, jingle.
次、エンジェ！跳ねてみて。
なんで私まで。
Jingle, jingle.
どうして？
If Bador was holding the bell, where did that sound come from? Angie hurriedly searched through her pockets. When she did, another blue ribbon bell came out of a different pocket than the first one.
それこれと同じ鈴だよな。
そんな、どうして2つ？私は1つしかもらわなかったわよ。
どうしてかなんか知らないわ。でもとにかくあんたは図書の都に入れる鈴を2つ持っている。よってあんたたちの仲睦まじいやりとりをこれ以上見ている必要がなくなったわけ。
The pair of them gripped their bells and looked at each other.
最初から今回のゲームはあんたたち2人のものだわ。ただ対決するプレイヤーには若干の変更があったみたいね。あんたたち2人が競い合うゲームじゃない。猫箱をめぐって蓋を閉ざそうとするバトラとエンジェとそれを開こうとするベルンとの戦いだわ。エンジェはベルン側からバトラ側にチームを変更した。それだけの話。
ラムダデルタ、俺たちを図書の都へ連れて行ってくれ。
分かってるわよね。連れてくだけよ。あとは今度こそ感激者に徹するからね。あんたたちが図書の都で何をどう戦ってどうベルンにコテンパンにされるかをじっくりたっぷり間近で感激してるだけだからね。
ラムダデルタ、
ありがとう。
Okay. I'll read a little at the beginning here. We're going into the city of books. Shannon and Canon stood guard in front of the door to the Golden Line. They glared quietly and furiously at the eerie fleet of ships across the horizon. Shannon slowly lifted her hands. Canon raised his right hand, and a red blade appeared there.
そこで止まってください。それ以上の接近を拒否します。
それ以上近寄れば切る。
They could see a single dinghy leading the fleet and approaching them. They couldn't tell if it was a messenger or the first wave. Shannon and Canon watched it cautiously. At the head of that dinghy, rowed by goats, stood Erica. Where the heck did she get that thing from? Maybe she was trying to act the part of the fleet's leader. Erica was glaring at them and smiling aggressively, with what appeared to be a pirate hat on her head.
最後通帳に参りました。交渉余地のあるものです。開門してください。
Shannon and Canon looked at each other. Erica was the one offering this deal. It wasn't likely to be anything agreeable. However, if they turned her away, the attack would probably begin at once. Since they were in a firmly inferior position, they wanted to buy time by any means they could. At Shannon's nod, Canon raised his sword. The Golden Line was filled with a hard downpour accompanied by occasional thunder. Erica, who realized that this weather spoke for their emotions, smiled even more boldly. At the center of the Golden Line was the arbor surrounded by a golden rose garden. A large number of humans and Aleutians were there, arguing about something. Even without asking, it was easy to guess the nature of the debate by their English expressions. After all, in this life or death situation, they didn't have many options they could take. In the direction Erica was being led, Vito stood waiting, accompanied by the Chester sisters' boys. When Erica, accompanied by her goat carts, saw Vito, she gave a bow that only appeared graceful. Vito followed suit and gave a graceful bow of the sort that was received from her.
黄金鏡の主、無限と黄金の魔女、ベアトリーチェで名乗られよ。
As though implying that she was more than happy to go through with this farce, Vito introduced herself boldly and requested that Erica do the same.
尊厳なる感激と戯曲と傍観の魔女により厳選されし名誉ある図書の都より派遣されてまいりました。私は図書に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊司令官にして真実の魔女フルドエリカと申します。どうぞお見知りおきを。
要件を聞こ
う。お喜びください。我ら図書に名誉と保護を与えし司書の艦隊はあなた方に名誉ある朗報をもって参上しました。一つ、図書の都は無限の魔女ベアトリーチェによって生み出されたゲーム版を名誉ある厳選されたる図書に認定されましたことを報告いたします。
ほう、それは名誉なことである。
このゲーム版は非常に興味深くかつ独創的で研究価値の高いものです。すべての市民に公開される価値のあるものです。よって図書の都は我らにこのゲーム版に永遠の名誉と保護を与えることを命ぜられました。
くどいし長い。とっとと本題を言え。
本ゲーム版の全てを名誉ある図書の都に譲渡することを要求します。これは本ゲーム版とその駒にとって最高の名誉と保護です。
嫌だと言ったら
全ての市民に共有されるべき名誉文化を私的独占する罪で告発されます。我々はあなたに対し全ての市民の権利と利益を保護するため攻撃を開始することを通告します。
その攻撃で臣民の共有財産が破壊されるのは構わぬの。
名誉図書保護法の規定により名誉文化私的独占を犯す犯罪者がこれを盾に籠城を試みる場合、執行官隊は大法院の許可を持って保護より逮捕を優先することが許されます。もちろんすでに大法院の許可状はこちらにございます。
ついでにその逮捕は生死を問わぬと書いてありそうだな。
おや、よくこんな小さい文字が読めますね。では茶番は以上です。ぶっちゃけどうします？
そなたの要求を飲むとどのような利点があるというか。
お互い無駄な仕事をしなくて済みます。そしてあなたの勇敢にして名誉ある行為は図書の都にて誉れ高く終章に記されるでしょう。分かってますよね。あなたは絶対勝てません。これは戦いでさえない。井戸の底で上を見上げるあなたに石をぶつけるだけの一方的なものなのですから。
わらわに選べるのは図書館の魔女たちがわらわの最後をいかに記すかだけというわけ。
あとはあなた次第です。もしあなたがこのゲーム版を愛おしく思うなら報復すべきです。駒たちは末永く大勢の市民に愛されその役目を永遠に続けることができるでしょう。
つまりは好き放題に生み出した惨劇を永遠に繰り返すということ。
あんたがしてきたことと何か違いは
ない。以上ならばわらわの答えを聞かせる。
どうぞ。
Erica tensed slightly. After all, this was the great Lady Beatrice she was dealing with. She might shout, "Here's my answer!" dramatically and do something crazy. They say a cornered rat is the most likely to bite a cat. Furthermore, Erica had intel telling her that the Great Lady Lambda Delta, Witch of the Senate, had been spending her time inside the Golden Land, though only as a theater goer. Erica needed to carry out this noble task that her master had assigned her, and she had to carry it out perfectly. If she was honest, she wanted to make Beto raise a white flag, even by trickery if necessary. So, even though this was a farce, she held back from giving any unneeded provocation. She gulped and tried to size Beto up. That's good. Bye.